Something feels strange tonight. Do you feel it, Gemini? It's not a strong wind, nor the noise outside. It's something subtle, like a quiet shift in the air, as if an ancient truth is returning, knocking on the door of your mind with signals you can't quite name. There are nights that pass just like any other, and then there are nights that arrive only to awaken you. And tonight is one of those nights. No one truly knows how many questions you've had to hold back, how many times you've pretended to be okay just to keep the peace, how many smiles you've worn to hide the feeling of slowly becoming invisible. Gemini, you are sharp, adaptable, you read people like open books. But perhaps because of that, you're often the last one to be understood. You see what hides beneath others' surfaces, but who truly sees beneath yours? Tonight, a faint call from the universe is drawing near. It isn't loud, but it lingers. It slips through the cracks you thought you had sealed. And if you let your heart be still long enough, you'll realize this is no coincidence. This is the moment when the truth you once tried to forget finds its way back to you, maybe through a strange dream, an unexpected message, or a familiar gaze from someone you thought no longer mattered. And you know what? A part of you has felt this coming for a very long time. If you're still here, listening, then maybe your soul is nodding softly, not to me, but to yourself. Because there are moments when you don't need a reason to believe anymore. You just need the courage to feel. Let tonight be the night you listen more deeply, feel more fully, and find a little more courage to face what you once avoided. If you're ready, leave a comment as a small promise to yourself. Tonight, the truth will find me. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can continue journeying through these deeper paths made just for Gemini. Now, make yourself a warm cup of tea, or coffee if you need clarity, and sit with me. We're about to enter a very different kind of night, a night the universe has chosen to whisper the truth you've been waiting for all along. Part 1. The nameless sounds. When the inner voice begins to speak, there are nights when the universe doesn't knock with thunder or grand events. It comes quietly, slipping into the corners of your thoughts with a feeling that has no name. You won't hear anything clearly, but you will feel it, like a silence that feels too deliberate, as if everything around you is waiting for something to happen, and you're the only one who knows it's coming. Gemini, your soul has always been sensitive to these invisible frequencies, but because you're so sensitive, you've also learned how to ignore them. You know how to hide your true feelings behind a smile. You've told yourself many times, it's fine, it's nothing. But tonight, something is awakening. You may not say it out loud, but your soul is whispering. This time, listen. An old melody, a random message that appears on your screen, a strange look from someone you thought was a stranger. All of these are like mysterious symbols connecting together, forming a picture you once left unfinished. No one else can read that picture but you, because it's the map of your heart. It's your memories. It's the doubts you buried deeply. It's the voice you once silenced. Do you remember the last time you truly trusted your intuition? Was it when people told you that you were too sensitive, overthinking, or reading too much into things? And so you stopped. You chose logic. You chose safety. You chose to move forward as if nothing had ever felt out of rhythm. But your heart remembered. And that inner voice, no matter how long it's been suppressed, never disappeared. It's just been waiting for a moment like tonight. Tonight, it's speaking. Not through words, but through a feeling deep and undeniable. Like suddenly remembering something important without knowing why. Like someone from your past brushing against your memory. like a forgotten part of yourself demanding to be heard again. Gemini is the sign of intellect, communication, and constant movement. But because of that, you're also the sign most likely to lose connection with your inner world. You're busy listening to everyone else. You're quick to respond. You speak. You understand. You analyze. You adapt. But how many times in your life have you truly sat down and listened to yourself? Maybe you once did, and then quickly moved on. Maybe you once heard your heart and pushed it away. Not because you were weak, but because you were scared. Scared to admit that something no longer felt right. Scared that unspoken emotions might spill over. Scared that if you dared to follow your intuition, you'd have to take action. And taking action might mean losing something you've been trying so hard to hold on to. But, Gemini, you don't have to run anymore. Because the truth isn't here to destroy you, it's here to free you. To remind you that you've abandoned yourself for too long. That you don't always have to be the one who makes everyone comfortable. That you don't have to keep shining like sunlight when all you really want is to sit down and breathe. Tonight, let everything be still. No noise, no explanations. Let your heart speak. Let that inner voice rise, even if you're not sure you're ready to hear everything it has to say. Because the more you avoid it, the louder it will return. And tonight, the universe is making space for you to finally face it. You don't need to understand everything right now. Just acknowledge, I'm hearing something, a strange feeling, a subtle sign, a sadness without reason, a call to return. They're all whispers you once ignored, but you can't escape them anymore. If this part makes your heart tremble even a little, if you feel something so true but hard to name, leave a comment as a way of opening the door back to yourself. I am ready to listen to the voice I once silenced. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving messages from the universe sent just for you at the exact moment you need them most. Now, pour yourself a warm cup of tea. Sit gently. We still have much to listen to tonight. And I'll be right here with you, Gemini. Part 2. The one behind the mask. And the version you once believed in. Gemini, perhaps you once believed that you could see through everything. You're perceptive, sharp, able to read the subtle tones in someone's eyes, in every pause of silence. People call you intuitive, someone with a sixth sense. And in many ways they're right. But that very sensitivity can also become the veil that blinds you. Because you read people so quickly, you sometimes allow yourself to ignore what your heart has been whispering. You believe that if you're smart enough, observant enough, you won't get hurt. But you forget that the heart doesn't operate by logic, and emotions don't follow the rules of analysis. Maybe someone comes to mind right now. Someone you once thought truly understood you. Someone you shared everything with, trusted without question, defended against everyone's doubts. This person could be a close friend, a lover, a partner, or even someone in your family. And tonight or very soon you may realize they never really loved you as you are. They loved the version of you that made them comfortable. They loved the image you built, cheerful, adaptable, easy to be around. But what about the real you? The part you've hidden behind your smile, has anyone ever truly touched it? A secret may soon be revealed in an unexpected way. Not as a dramatic shock like in movies, but through a small detail, a careless comment, an unusual look, a text sent by mistake, or a casual story from someone else. Or maybe it's just your intuition suddenly lighting up as the scattered pieces finally come together. And in that moment, you might feel a chill run down your spine because you'll realize your heart had been warning you all along, but you chose to silence it to keep the peace. Gemini, you are quick and clever, but that sharpness isn't a shield for your heart. It helps you anticipate situations, but it can't stop the ache that comes from realizing you trusted the wrong person, misunderstood someone, or loved the wrong version of them. You once thought you could stay in control by understanding everything. But this time, your heart is learning a different lesson. Understanding doesn't always protect you from pain. Sometimes it makes the wound deeper because you see too clearly everything you once ignored. This is a powerful moment for you, Gemini. Not only will truths about others be revealed, but also truths about yourself. You'll face the deep conflict between intuition and logic that you've long avoided. You'll remember how many times you overanalyzed to calm yourself instead of trusting your first feeling. You'll recall the countless times your heart whispered, "Something's off," and your mind replied, "I'm just being too sensitive." So you chose logic, you chose silence, you chose harmony, and now you realize you abandoned yourself while trying to protect the image you built. The pain doesn't only come from being hurt by others. It also comes from facing yourself, the one who didn't trust your own intuition. But pain, too, is a gift, because it makes it impossible to go back to who you were. It forces you to look truth in the eye, to be honest with yourself. It reminds you that no one can save your heart except you. Gemini, you were never wrong for loving. You were never wrong for trusting. You're simply learning that real love doesn't require you to wear a mask so others feel comfortable. You deserve to be loved, as you are not the happy, flexible, or easygoing version you built to protect yourself. Tonight, as that mask begins to fall, you might feel exposed, vulnerable, but that's also when you'll finally see your truest self. Take a deep breath, Gemini. Don't blame yourself for trusting the wrong person. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. That's not foolishness. It's your instinct to connect. It's your heart's longing for sincerity. And that heart still holds its worth. It is still deserving of love. It is still worthy of protection. If any part of this resonates with you, take it as a sign from the universe, a reminder to return to yourself. Don't let pain harden you. Let it soften you so this time, you'll choose to trust your intuition before you trust anyone else. Gemini, gently forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for trying too hard to keep the peace. Forgive yourself for ignoring the voice within. Forgive yourself for believing in a version of someone you wanted to see instead of who they truly were. Forgive not to forget, but to free yourself from the weight you've carried. If you're ready to take that step, leave a comment as a quiet but powerful declaration. I forgive myself for trusting the wrong version. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can continue to receive the universe's messages meant just for Gemini, reminding you that this journey isn't just about discovering the truth about others, but about returning home to your own heart. Pour yourself another cup of tea or coffee. Sit in peace. You are not alone. We'll keep walking through these layers of the mask together. Part 3. Intellect and illusion. When reason becomes a shield for emotion. Gemini, you are so intelligent. Not just the kind of smart that learns fast or understands quickly, but the kind that knows how to soothe yourself, how to find explanations, so you won't be swept away by emotional chaos. You know how to call a wound a lesson, a hurtful word, a misunderstanding, someone's coldness. They're just busy, and someone's departure, a reasonable choice. And you think, if I can rationalize it, maybe I'll be fine. But there's one thing no one ever told you. Emotions don't need to be explained. They need to be felt. A wound, no matter how beautifully you name it, is still a wound. Beneath the gentle words you use to comfort yourself lies a heart that once felt abandoned. A heart that kept trying to understand others so deeply that it forgot to ask, "Am I okay?" How many times have you told yourself, "It's okay, they didn't mean to hurt me. Maybe I'm just too sensitive. I'm probably overthinking again." Those words aren't wrong. But when you repeat them too often, they stop being reassurance. They become layers of armor, covering the pain you're afraid to face. Because if you admit that you're hurt, you also have to admit that someone didn't truly see you, that someone ignored the emotions you tried so hard to express, that you had to be okay, not because you were strong, but because you had no other choice. Your intellect is your weapon. But when it becomes armor you can't take off, you get tired. So very tired. Because you're forced to feel and analyze at the same time. You're in pain. Yet you try to explain why you shouldn't be. You cry inside, then tell yourself that a mature person shouldn't care so much. Gemini. Eventually reason won't be strong enough to hold back your emotions. And when that happens, it won't just make you cry. It will make you feel empty. You'll revisit memories you thought were gone, only to realize they were just hiding. The times you were met with silence in the middle of an important conversation. The messages you poured your heart into that only got a one-word reply. The stories you told so passionately that were met with an indifferent gaze. The moments you smiled wide in a crowded room but secretly wished someone would ask, "Are you truly okay today?" All of that will return not to weaken you, but to give your emotions back to you. You no longer need to rationalize everything. You don't need to understand others first, just to feel worthy of being understood. You don't need to always be emotionally intelligent. You're allowed to be confused, hurt, fragile, and longing to be held. You've gotten used to being the connector, the one people come to for advice, comfort, and understanding. But tonight, the real question is, who listens to you? Who sees the sadness behind your bright eyes? Who knows that behind every "I'm fine" lies a long, untouched silence inside you? You don't have to prove your strength anymore. You're not here to keep pretending. You're here to live fully, truthfully, with every layer of emotion, both the gentle and the messy. And if you've ever blamed yourself for letting logic overshadow your heart, then today, forgive yourself. Be gentle. You were simply doing the best you could with what you knew, with the fears you carried. But from this moment on, you don't need to explain your pain anymore. You don't need a reason to feel. You don't need to be valid to be sad. Just being you, honest, vulnerable, alive, is already enough. If this part makes something stir within you, if you're tired of having to explain your pain to people who never really listened, then leave a comment as a quiet yet firm declaration. I am ready to stop explaining my pain. And if you wish to keep walking this journey where you don't have to pretend, where no one expects you to be fine, where you are truly heard, then like this video, subscribe, and let me stay here with you as we gently peel back the layers you're finally ready to shed. Take a deep breath, Gemini. You're doing so well already. Part 4. Freedom comes from the true heart, when you no longer pretend to be sunshine. Gemini, have you ever wondered why, in a room full of people, you're always the one who lifts the mood? Why, in quiet conversations, you're the one who cracks a joke to ease the silence? Why you're expected to be cheerful, witty, easy to be around, as if that role was written into your script from the very start? Maybe someone once told you, "You're the light in this room," and you smiled, taking it as a compliment. But do you remember smiling while feeling completely empty inside? Do you remember how many times you switched on your high-energy mode just to avoid someone asking, "Are you okay?" How many times you became the sunshine when all you really needed was a shadowed corner to breathe. Gemini, you've lived too long in the role of the one who makes things feel okay. You've carried the invisible responsibility of keeping peace, of smoothing the air, of saying the right thing at the right time to dissolve the tension. And while you've done that beautifully, there's a part of you that's been shrinking, thinning out, because there's been no room left for the real you. You've grown used to pretending to be fine. You've learned how to hide tears behind laughter. You've made yourself a shelter for other people's emotions, but had nowhere to go when you broke apart. And tonight, the universe is gently placing its hand on your shoulder and saying, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to be the sunshine all the time. You're allowed to be cloudy, to be quiet, to not feel like talking, to not have to answer, to stop trying to make everyone comfortable. You're allowed to do nothing at all. Just breathe. Just be here. Just be you, not the vibrant version everyone's used to, but the true you with all the vulnerability, silence, and depth you've tucked away. Tonight, you are allowed not to fill the silence, not to be the one who brings the energy, not to be the comforter. You're not a spotlight. You are a human being, and you're allowed to be tired. And maybe the exhaustion doesn't come from pretending, it comes from believing that you have to pretend in order to be loved. But no, Gemini, you don't have to be cheerful to stay. You don't have to shine to be worthy. You don't have to fit in to be kept in someone's story. Your presence, even if quiet, even if dim, even if imperfect, is still a gift. You once believed that if you didn't smile, people would see you as negative. If you slowed down, they'd drift away. If you stopped pretending to be happy, you'd be left behind. But have you ever considered, if someone only stays when you're glowing, did they ever truly choose you? The moment you drop the role, you'll feel lighter. Maybe at first, it'll feel awkward, hollow, uncertain, but then lighter, as if you just took off a heavy coat soaked in expectations. And underneath is a Gemini still whole, still beautiful, still real. Tonight's liberation doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with quiet agreement from within. When you whisper to yourself, I don't have to pretend to be sunshine anymore, and then you sit down. Gently. No smile required. No role to play. Just you breathing, existing, being. Gemini, not every moment demands your brightness. Sometimes your darkness is your power. In darkness, you see yourself more clearly. In silence, you hear your truth. In pause, you finally touch what's real. And the truth is, you deserve love, even when you are no longer the light. If, right now, it feels like someone just placed a hand over your heart and whispered, you don't have to keep holding it all together, then leave a comment as a soul to self-affirmation. I am allowed to stop pretending to be okay. And if you wish to continue this journey, where you don't have to be perfect to be seen, where your true emotions are welcomed, where you don't have to act, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because from now on, we're not fighting to stay in someone else's story, we're choosing to stay with ourselves. Tonight, you don't need to shine. Just be here. That's enough. Part 5. The Dawn of Truth. And the new you. Waiting beyond this night. Gemini, if you've made it here with me, then perhaps your soul is ready for something even greater than an awakening, a return. Not a return to the version of you that you've tried so hard to maintain, but a return to the self you've avoided, covered up, believed was too fragile to survive in this world. You've endured so many moments of pretending to be okay, so many layers of masks, so many dimensions between logic and emotion. You've grown used to being the one who knows, who understands, who's one step ahead. So you thought maybe you could avoid the pain. But the truth is, no one, not even you, escapes the nights that break us open. And it's from nights like those that your truest self is born. You may go through a full range of emotions: confusion, anger, emptiness, self-doubt, questioning everything. You'll reread old messages with new eyes. You'll remember the times your intuition spoke, but you dismissed it. You'll face the part of you that whispered, "They don't really understand me." But you shut it down because you wanted to believe in something more beautiful. But then, after all of it, after the gut-wrenching pain, after the sleepless nights, after the tears that came without reason, you begin to see light again. Not the light you used to fake, but a real light, one that shines from being honest with yourself. You start saying no to things that drain you. You stop trying to please everyone. You no longer explain your feelings just to be accepted. You no longer turn on the happy mode just to avoid making others uncomfortable. You stop needing to be fully understood in order to be fully yourself. Because now you know. You don't need to be understood. You need to be free. Freedom is being silent without guilt, saying, "I'm sad," without having to justify it, walking away from a space where you no longer belong without feeling weak, looking into the mirror without striking a pose, and simply smiling. Welcome back. This dawn isn't bringing back the old you. This dawn is awakening someone you've never allowed to come forth before, the one they called too sensitive, too emotional, too complex, too much. And you once thought, maybe I need to tone it down, feel less, be less, so I can be loved. But now you know that too much was always the truth of who you are, and you don't have to shrink to deserve love. The truth you touched in the darkness didn't come to destroy you. It came to shatter every illusion you built just to survive, so you could finally return to your real light. A light that doesn't need to be dazzling. A light that doesn't need to perform. A light that simply is. You'll begin to choose differently, speak differently, respond with more softness and more truth. You'll stop participating in conversations that require you to act. You'll stop explaining what was already clear. You'll stop connecting with people who only loved your bright version. And one day, maybe today, or very soon, you'll realize you no longer feel the need to apologize for being who you are. You no longer feel the urge to adjust yourself to fit into someone's story. You no longer fear the voice of your own intuition. Instead, you'll feel light, and from that lightness, a new version of you will begin to rise. But this isn't an upgraded version. This is the real you, raw, whole, clear, and free. The one you used to hide. The one you wished someone would be gentle enough to see. And today, you are the one who finally dares to see them. Gemini, if this final part brings a tear to your eye or makes you smile like a weight has lifted, that's no coincidence. That's your soul agreeing to return. And you know what? You're ready for your next chapter. If this feels like it was written for you, leave a comment as your commitment to this new path. I'm ready to meet the real me. And don't forget to subscribe, because this isn't the end. This journey is just beginning. Take a deep breath. Welcome home, Gemini. If you've made it this far, chances are you've walked through a journey that's not only astrological, but deeply real, deeply human. A journey of a soul that has, many times, chosen silence over speaking up, chosen cheerfulness over vulnerability, chosen to understand others instead of asking, "But who will understand me?" The message from the universe tonight isn't here to confuse you. It's here to remind you. You don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to be cheerful everywhere. And you don't have to be the one who makes everyone else comfortable in order to be worthy of love. You deserve to live truthfully, to be heard, and to step into a new chapter, one where you no longer hide behind your smile. Life isn't always easy. There will be moments when you fall into a space between logic and feeling, between what you see and what you sense. But from now on, whenever you start to doubt yourself, remember, your soul knows the way home, and the truth inside you has never left. You just hadn't felt safe enough to listen yet. Practical takeaways for you after this video. You don't have to explain why you're hurt. Just allow yourself to feel. Sometimes, what you need to let go of isn't another person, but the role you've been forcing yourself to play for too long. The dawn of truth doesn't destroy you. It liberates you. If this video touched something inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a comment below with a small reflection, or simply type, "I'm ready to meet the real me," to affirm that you're ready to live authentically and to create a point of connection for other Geminis who need this, just like you do. If you found this video meaningful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future astrological journeys, crafted just for the soul of Gemini. And always remember, you don't have to be the sunshine all the time. Just being yourself is enough. See you in the next video. I'll be right here. Every time you need a quiet moment to return home to yourself.